scheming about, not just for this year, not just for next year, but for the next 10 years. So y'all know that we are not building a company that's like a flash in the pan direct sales company where it's like get in, buy your kit, sell some stuff, make a couple $100 in a month, and then kind of move on to the next thing. That's not what we're excited about. So much of our company is actually built up to make sure that we are recruiting and attracting women who are saying, we get that like long-term sustainable change, both for the world and for our sisters in East Africa and for me and my family, really come from small steps and from consistency and from commitment and faithfulness. And that's what we want from you guys. That's what we're asking. When I look out over this room, I truly do dream about the conference that we're having 10 years from now, where you guys are sitting in the room. You're, you know, the originals that are kind of talking about, remember when we did s'mores on the beach in our but that you guys are really leading this with us. And as part of that, if we're going to ask you to be thinking about Sseko like that, Ben and I really feel like we want you to know what you're signing up for. Where are we headed? What are you a part of? And when you say yes today, what are you saying yes to 10 years from now? One of the things that I want to reiterate, when I was like 22, I remember thinking, I had got my first, you know, like corporate gig, and I had studied journalism, and I kind of remember having this moment that it was like I couldn't really change careers at this point, because I was like, I had already gone to college and I had one job. Like, and just thinking I was like too old, and like, you know, everything was like pointing me in this direction, and it was just like that was it, you know. And I look back on that and it's hilarious. It's like I was 22 and I thought like, well, I made my bed. Here's where I'm going 60 years. And y'all, and any of you in this room feel that way about Sseko, like I missed out on it, you know, I'm not a leader yet, or, you know, look at our community and don't see yourselves as that. I need you to just take a moment and back away and recognize that, like, right now, if you are in this room, like, we're not even in chapter 1, y'all. We are literally still in the prelude. And that there are women that are in this room that will go on to be massive leaders in this community. There are women that aren't in this room. There are women that will be joining in the next year to 3 years, where we will still be considering fellows that are coming on a year or two from now from really being founding fellows. So I want to reiterate that like if you're doing what I did when I was 22 and you're like, well, it's too late, I missed the boat, you're gonna really laugh at that.
I want to add that really quick.
Yeah.
So, and I think part of the reason that Liz and I want to reiterate that. So what we're doing at Sseko, we're building a company that's based in Uganda, and it's built in East Africa, and it's built and started with literally 18-year-old girls were sitting under a tree making shoes. And I think when most people hear that, all they can imagine, like all that can go into their mind is that's quaint and cute, and it'd be fun to like help out with that little project. And man, we're not building a little project, and our vision and our hope and our plan and where we're going is not that. And I think it's so easy, and I imagine a lot of you have known about us for a while. Like, we've already had a 10-year vision. It's going to end in 2 years. And like, so we're in a very different place, and we're building something very different today. But I want you guys, I want you to completely erase what you might have thought what you thought you knew about Sseko, and in a lot of ways you're going to join Liz and I at our this is like our dinner table right now. Like, this is a sacred space for us. One of the beautiful things about building a company with your spouse is you get to hang out a lot more than if you don't work together. One of the challenging things is we talk about work a lot, and this dream that's going to come out is a lot of like us peeling back through notebooks and through conversations and literally things that on 10-hour road trips across wherever it is. So I want you guys to just like reframe and start over and come with us on a new place, because it's going to be fun.
So here's welcome to dinner, the dinner table with Liz and Ben, where we dream about Sseko and our sisters in Uganda.
Some people might not think it's very fun.
Best dinners ever.
So here are kind of the 3 main areas that we are really excited about investing in over the next 10 years, and we're going to dive into more of these. The first is starting a retail revolution! The second is investing in you as leaders, as our friends, friends, as our sisters, as business women, really saying how far can we push the envelope with how much we are investing in our team. And then third, of course, is our impact, both in East Africa and across the globe.
Okay, cool. So we're going to dive in. Okay, guys, if you don't know, retail is going to change dramatically over the next 10 years, and it already is.
Yeah.
And again, this is like, I want you guys to pick this up. Like, we are not going to depend on people feeling bad about buying products from us. Like, we can tell a story about a woman in Uganda, and she might feel like, oh, I want to help that young woman out. Like, that is not what's going to change hundreds of thousands of people's lives. Like, we want to be strategic, we want to be thoughtful, and we need to know, like, where is the world going? So here's the reality. 25% of malls are going to close over the next 5 years. Of those that are left, most of them are going to turn into entertainment venues. It's going to be movie theaters. It's going to be places that you go to eat. You are not going to go to the mall to shop. That's going to create a huge vacuum for where people are going to buy apparel, accessories, and shoes. Right?
In the next 5 years.
I hate going to the mall, by the way. So over the next 10 years, e-commerce growth is going to be 100%. It's literally going to double in 10 years. And we'll get into, actually, you can go to the next slide. So today, which this is surprising to me, Macy's. Yes. So Macy's, if you guys don't know this, literally the largest seller of apparel in the whole country, which I thought was surprising. It's crazy. Amazon will match them this year.
For the first time in the history of the universe.
So
amazing.
And Amazon just started going into fashion like 3 years ago. Okay, so just kind of
closed, and there's a gym going in.
yeah, exactly. So the past of retail is mass, and it is also very much, it's a curated experience where you go to a retailer and you expect them to tell you, what should I buy, both for what do I want to wear for my husband and for my home. Okay, and a lot of retailers built huge businesses telling you what your lifestyle should be, and if you just came in and you bought everything that we had, you would have this great lifestyle. Man, where we see the future of retail going, there's really this split and this chasm that's going to happen. Amazon's not going away. There are 43% of all e-commerce sales in America happen through Amazon. Like, that's insane, guys.
Which is why we're investing in drones.
Okay, so we're going to see, I really do believe we'll see this split between people that do want things, they want things cheap and they want things fast.
Yeah.
That's what Amazon does, and they're going to continue to do it. And frankly, like, when I want to buy new ink for my printer, like, I'm probably going to buy it from Amazon. It's good. I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to go anywhere. It shows up. It's great. And Amazon does things really well, and that's fine. I think
it's not a threat to us.
It's not a threat to us, and we're not going to try to beat Amazon. Like, that is the key that I want you guys to take away. Like, there is a chasm, and you can play in. So you choose whose yard and whose backyard you want to play in. We don't want to play in Amazon's backyard. We are not going to beat Amazon at being Amazon.
I would play in Jeff Bezos' backyard. That's
pretty
very
big.
He's going to space.
Jeff, if you're watching.
Okay, so the chasm that we see and really where we want Sseko to be is what I would call, so Amazon is a part of this race to the bottom. How do you go cheaper, faster, right? And everyone's just looking for better, like smaller margin, cheaper products, and they're trying to win market share because of that. On the flip side of that, what we're going to try to do is what I call full circle. Like, we're really trying to help people understand that to be a part of a product has a life cycle, in what we call like a full cycle of a product, and you can be a part of every transaction in that product's life. That's something that's like amazing for me to think about. Like, literally from the time that this product was born to the time that it was sold, I can be a part of that. And there are so many people, and man, our world it's globalized and it's not going away. Like, that is just a reality. And for us to understand that we have literally from the point that, and this is, I don't know that we'll go into this because we have chickens and it doesn't go very well, but like, and we tried that maybe in Uganda, but I think for us, like, we're always thinking about like how far back in the supply chain can we go and how far forward. So we started with production, and now with you guys we've been able to do retail. And we really believe that if we focus on creating better customer experiences, and we really invest into helping customers understand the impact of their products, how they were made, where they were made, we're moving ourselves into a better.
Oh, wow, did I do that? Yeah. Sorry.
So one really clear example of that. If you go to the next slide. So you guys many of you guys have been a part of this. So DYDS is DYD. Yeah, if you've done anything. Okay, guys, here's the reality. DYDS, as you guys know, it is maybe, I would say, the hardest thing we've ever done. And it is, I don't know if I can, and I wish Brent was up here and he could like talk about like the amount of tears, like, we literally went from making one product where our team in Uganda came in and they didn't have any instructions, because what they were trained on day one is the same thing they were doing 3 months later. So they came in, they had one material that they worked with, and that material went with this material every single time, and they did it 200 times in a day, and then they maybe rotated to a new position. To go to DYDS, where we literally went from maybe 35 SKUs to literally we have like 2 million options. It's insane. And we've done it all manually. Like, it's absurd.
Yeah.
And it is absurd. And it's also like, you guys are getting a taste for like, ultimately like the things that we believe in. As we're pretty thoughtful about what we invest into. And we follow, like, we're 8 years old, but we very much believe in an entrepreneurial and startup mentality where we're going to build, we're going to test, we're going to learn, and we're going to grow. And thank you guys for being a part of DYDS, because it's been amazing. I mean, this year already it was like 8% of our revenue, which is insane.
Awesome.
Which is really, like, that's huge, guys.
That's awesome. That
Can we tell them some news?
Yes, please.
is awesome. Look at her. She's like, I can't keep it.
Very happy to announce that we will be continuing Design Your Dream Sandals for the 2018 spring summer. All because of you and our early adapters and our people who said, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to be a pioneer, and you guys are the ones that gave us the information and the data and the mistakes and the experience that we needed to make an educated decision. And this is only the beginning.
Guys, but like,
only the beginning.
we just have to pause and like, this Design Your Dream Sandal does not exist.
Nowhere else
Nowhere.
on planet Earth can you design your own sandal and know the woman who made that sandal. That is literally something that, as a Sseko stylist, you get to offer somebody that no one else, and not just like a little bit different, a competitor, like literally no one else does it. And you guys are part of what made that happen.
So that is one very clear picture of like, hey, we're not going to try to go faster, cheaper. We're going to be more thoughtful about how we create better differentiation and create better story and better connection with our products.
And experiences. You know, as we see 25% of malls changing or shutting down the next 5 years, you guys, that leaves, to Ben's point, this massive vacuum, not just for product that isn't being bought, but for experiences, right? Where
Totally.
it's like people used to like go to the mall and it's a girl's, day out and we go get a pedicure and then we go to the mall and we go shopping, or it's, mom's birthday and so the kids are gonna it's not just about the product that you're buying, it's about the experience that you're having.
And community.
And so there's a massive vacuum
Completely.
right now in the industry that's happening over the next 5 years, and Sseko is saying, we're not racing to the bottom. We want to fill that vacuum. We want to race to the best experience. We want to create an experience that's going to fill that vacuum of something that you're experiencing in community. You're having this fun night. You're drinking wine. You're like hearing this incredibly inspirational story. You're writing a letter to a woman halfway across the globe. You're designing your sandals. You're getting styled. It's not just about buying the product. It's about really creating and curating an experience that is filling a need that will become a bigger and bigger void, and therefore a bigger and bigger opportunity for each of you over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
That's
and one last
awesome.
thing on that. Custom is the antithesis of mass, right? So it's
Yeah.
like literally one offers mass. And I think, man, we're seeing it. Like, I don't know that Sseko will ever own an entire wardrobe for a consumer. And I think, frankly, that's fine, because what we're seeing with the industry and with movement and retail is like fewer people want to walk into one store and have their entire wardrobe from that.
Right.
I might have said that. I hope I said something smart. But,
Ellie.
yes, so
Ellie?
like, so you might walk into a store and you might pick up whatever it is, a pants, but you might be thrifting something else. And like we really feel like as people are building more of an eclectic wardrobe, like we want to fit into the right places, and we're going to be thoughtful about the SKUs that we introduce to make sure we hit that.
All right.
Yeah.
We're already getting time signals, so we're gonna go quick. Okay, so y'all know that we are starting a direct sales revolution. You know that we are rewriting the rules for how we do direct sales. We are rewriting the rules and saying like, hey, we're gonna do direct sales in a way that is empowering and it's dignifying and it's creating experiences and opportunity that you can't get online and that you can't get at a big box store. We're really, really excited about being the changing face of that. You guys, 10 years from now, Ben and I as leaders of this company, like we want Sseko to be to this revolution what Tom's Shoes was to social enterprise in the consumer goods space. You know,
Exactly.
Tom's was the company that kind of created this collective consciousness that went, oh, if I buy something from a for-profit company that I actually really like to wear, I can make this specific social impact. Whether or not we're super big fans of that specific impact is that's the point. The thing is that they were the leaders of that, and in 10 years, Sseko will be the company that people look to say, this was the company that redefined the direct sales industry. This was the company that introduced to the collective consciousness of not just America, but I really believe the globe, and showed us how we can democratize social impact entrepreneurship.
Yes, Mr. Wonder. Yes.
Life's mission!
Yes.
Okay.
We will.
So here's the thing, you guys.
We will. Mr. Wonderful, we will. We will.
Okay, so what we're going to do, I want each of you, we are all collectively going to read this statement about where we will be in 10 years, okay? And this is how we're going to change retail. So ready, set, in
10 years, we will be the largest and most influential impact direct sales brand in the world.
Okay, so next. Okay. All right, so the next area that we guys dream about and we talk about and we scheme about and we like what if about all of the time is this area.
Flying.
It's Quidditch. It's Quidditch.
Okay, so
It's actually an investment in you.
guys, Liz and I have been, man, we have been so lucky, frankly, and very blessed to have really amazing people come around us at the right time. They were mentors, they were advisors, they were coaches, they were teachers, and they helped ask basically the right question at the right time. That ultimately, in so many ways, like the reason that we're standing here and that you're sitting here is because we've been surrounded by the right people that helped get us in the right frame of mind, asking the right questions, and working our butts off to get here. So for us, like we know that if Sseko is going to grow, what we want to do is invest in you guys. Like that's just what it comes down to. Man, it's been so fun for us to 8 years is not a short period of time to tell the same story, frankly. Like Liz and I literally, I mean, I promise you I've heard Liz tell the Sseko story 10,000 times. And that's probably a short, like that's probably way too few. And I think for me to see, like when we were out hustling, trying to get retailers to pick up Sseko, it was so much like, what can Liz and Ben do? What can Liz and Ben do? And it's just not as fun than having this room here. Yeah. So, but to get there, we want to invest in you guys, and we really want to invest into training because we recognize, like a lot of you sitting here, maybe you haven't done direct sales before, maybe you don't consider yourself a salesperson, and whatever. So for us, like we're thinking about how do we build out better tools that allow you guys to get where you want to be. And I also I want to be super clear on. We don't think this room is one size fits all. Like we don't think your goals are one size fits all. We don't think success is one size fits all. But man, we want to invite, like we want the table, like if this is our dinner table, it's bigger than our actual dinner table. Like it's going to be a big ass table. Like we want everyone to have a seat. No matter where you're going, like if you want to be with us, we want to have a space for you. So that means building out better technology tools that help you, that understand what success means to you. So a lot of that's going to be on us helping you guys define what does that mean to you, and then we make sure that we build curated experiences for you to get where you want to be. Does that mean sales training, sales management? Does that mean budgeting? Does that mean finance? Does that mean how do I be a better speaker? How do I tell my story better? All of those kinds of things, we really feel like I want to get to a place where you guys aren't spending time searching for things, and we want you guys like to keep it simple and to keep the main thing the main thing. And if we can build out better tools so that you can do that, we're doing our job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine like regional get-togethers, national get-togethers. You, 10 of your Sseko sisters in a cabin with like a world-class leadership and sales training coach. These are the type of experiences that when we think about 10 years from now and being wildly successful, that we want to be pouring into you guys and curating these experiences that are going to help you build yourselves and build your businesses. Now that's kind of the businessy leadership side of things. There's this other part of things, that is that we, as a culture, as a community, are unquenchably adventurous, right? I have to say that maybe one of the things I'm most excited about, that I literally dream about, and I can tell each one of you in this room, like, where your face and what part of the world that I imagine us traveling together in. So here's the
This
thing.
was like a week of us planning this talk. Was like Liz, like,
Literally the entire slide were just all the places we're gonna go. I feel like we should talk about other things. But here's the thing: Uganda will always be a really important part of our community and our culture. And yearly trips to Uganda, where we get to like meet our team and invest in them and create these really meaningful relationships. But y'all, it is not ending with Uganda. I mean, imagine 10, 12 of us in Morocco, right? And it's like we are riding camels and we're camping in the desert with the Berber tribe. And then we're like going through souks and we're buying awesome like rugs and products. And then we have this really cool curated workshop experience where we're learning about a tradition, a Moroccan tradition that's hundreds of years old. And we're learning about like the culture and how they do it and why it's important to what they're doing today. And then we go back to our hotel and we like dip in the pool and then we drink margaritas and we stay up way too late.
Okay.
See, when I dream about the future, if you invest in Sseko and if you invest in us, it is an investment in a future that will have so much adventure and travel in life, because we know that when we travel, our worlds open up and we open up to ourselves and we become better, more curious, more interesting, more empathetic versions of who we are, and that is who we are as a community. So if you invest in Sseko, you are investing in a life full of adventure that is beyond any of our wildest imaginations, and please don't let me down. I'm really thankful.
okay, cool. I've hit on this a little bit, and I won't talk to it too much. I know technology can be freaky. Okay, I want to state that, and I want you guys to know that we are not afraid or dependent on technology. I see technology as a tool. It's never going to be the thing that makes us the best and biggest social impact direct sales company in the world. Like, you guys and people are what is going to make us successful. Ultimately, the way that we think about technology is it is a tool, and it should be used as a tool.
Yeah. Totally.
And we have a lot of tools we can build, right? That are lacking. So ultimately, like, what I want to give you guys a vision for, and again, I kind of mentioned this earlier, like, we want to make sure the tools that we build out allow you guys to be in front of the people that you want to be in front of and you need to be in front of. The less time that you can spend in front of a computer screen is a win.
Totally. Woo!
Yes, but I also want you guys to dream big and understand the implications for us if we can leverage the best-in-class digital marketing tools that are out there.
Yes.
Will help us build bigger and better businesses and work less and work smarter.
Completely.
So imagine with me, someone walks into one of your trunk shows, you put an iPad on the ground, and you size her foot. That sizing goes automatically to her profile, and from now on, when she visits your website, she only sees shoes that fit her foot. Those are the kinds of things that, like, they exist in the world. We don't have them. But they exist. We can go forward. I was having a conversation with Sarah. I don't know where Sarah Woodson is, but I was having I was having a conversation with Sarah last night, and she was like, "Man, I met this woman 6 months ago at a vendor event, and then like 6 months later, she bought 2 bucket bags from me." And I was like trying to wrap my brain on how did I connect with this person, and we can build better tools that help you guys understand who your customers are, what they're interested in, and then we can also build experiences. Literally, when they hit our website, like we can create curated experiences where what they're interested in is what they see.
Yes.
And that's something that we need to move forward with, and we need to not be afraid of, because again, like our job on our side is to help you guys build businesses easier. And we have to leverage tools that can help us do that. We're not going to be dependent on them. We're not going to be afraid of them. And we're going to move forward.
Woo!
This is one quick thing that I think, man, obviously, like, if you guys didn't know
Oh no. Well, my technology is telling me I don't know how to press.
So, anyways, we really want to, and we will build out better tools for DYDS that allow people to visualize what is this creation that I'm making. And I love, man, guys, there's not, I would say one of the things that we love the most is seeing the creations. Like, I've even like this weekend as I've seen shoes, I'm like, we don't make, yes, we do make those. And it's like so fun to see, like, I mean, it's amazing to see the things that we had never dreamed of. That come to life, but I think for you guys as you're selling, to have a tool that helps you see, like, hey, like, this actually does look good together and awesome. Okay, so and being able to share that with people, let them do it themselves.
How soon is that? Someone actually help me advance that slide.
We don't have all the tools yet. We still need to advance.
We are investing in you as leaders, and here's the thing. If you are sitting in this room, if you are a Sseko Fellow, here's something that I know about you. You are done playing small, okay? And part of our role as leaders in this company is I want Sseko to be a platform for you to know and to own your own influence in the world. Whether that's as an impact entrepreneur, as a leader, as a community builder, or as a stylist. I know that there are women in this room that will be giving TED Talks at some point. Yeah! And they'll be giving TED Talks about their experience and their adventure of starting and scaling and growing their own social enterprise that's impacting millions of women in East Africa and women right here at home. Y'all, we want you to use the Sseko platform, and we want to give you the Sseko platform to leverage you to become leaders in your community. Some of you have an incredible heart for the youth in your community. Like, that means we want you up in front of classrooms and engaged with schools and using your platform as a Sseko businesswoman, as a business owner, to be able to help you achieve your dreams of becoming a leader and a role model in your community. Yes.
We want you guys to really get this done.
Alright, here's the thing, you guys. Definitely in the next 10 years, I will be on Good Morning America.
Damn straight!
And one, if not two or three of you, will be alongside of me, with me, sharing your story about being an impact entrepreneur. That will happen, and I'm very excited about it. And for some of you, that means being leaders in your communities, in your churches, and really in your families. You guys, I hope that you know that we at Sseko, we refuse to buy into the narrative that you have to choose your communities and your families or your business. We want to build a culture that says, like, actually being a leader in your family is just as important as being on the TED stage. It's just as important as being on Good Morning America. We want you guys to really use the Sseko platform to become leaders in your communities. That means inspiring your partners and your husbands when they get to see how hard you're working and how much you're succeeding and how much this community is rewarding you. That means we want families going to Uganda, you guys. We want you to be women that when your kids are your age and they're sitting in a room and they're talking to their friends about their childhood, that will say, like, I grew up watching my mom be so bold and courageous and pursue her dreams, and she refused to play small, and because of that, I had experiences all over the world. I learned how the world worked, and I had these incredible transformational experiences. Like, guys, that is not small. This is a generation of leaders that we are growing, not only in Uganda, but in our own homes, and we really want to dream about how we're using the Sseko platform to enable you guys to be leaders in your family. For those of you... Okay, so for those of you who are our stylists, whether you are stylists today and consider yourselves fashionistas, or whether just in the last 30 minutes after hearing a very inspiring talk, you are deciding right now now that that's something that you're excited about. Know that we are continuing to invest in you guys as stylists, and also, y'all, our product line, I just want to say one thing. Literally 5 years ago, the only product that we sold was like a not very beautiful ribbon sandal. It had bumps and it had quality control issues, and there were, all of these things. And literally in the last 4 years, our product catalog, our quality, you guys have seen it grow exponentially, and over the next 10 years, it's only going to continue to grow more. So we really want to equip you guys that when you walk into a room, to Ben's point, no one is buying product because they feel bad for someone. Everyone is buying product because it's beautiful and it's on trend and they feel great wearing it, and you are a leader in your community of helping women understand what those products are, how they can use them, how they can feel great in them. Know that on the product development side, we are not just creating products for your end customer, because we know that your end customer is actually also not just buying products for herself, but also for her family, for her home, for her lifestyle. And
Can we go back to that screen?
All right, so everybody stand up, and we're going to say this line together because this is a we will statement for the Sseko vision. Ready, set, thanks to my
company that prioritize their best-in-class investment in me, I, as a business owner, will know and own my sphere of influence and be a leader in my community.
All right, guys, never give Liz and I 20 minutes to give you the question. Oops.
We'll stay like that.
Okay, so
We're
we're going to talk about impact and where we're going. If you've been around Sseko, our office, for more than a week or two, you hopefully will have heard me talk about kind of what our vision is for how we think about impact. And this is something I just like, this is like one of those moments where like I want you guys to press reset probably on what you maybe have thought about, at least maybe from Sseko or from other companies in the past. So much of the way that we interact with East Africa and the continent of Africa from the West is, and especially over the last decade or two, has been this thought around like, man, we really need to empower local entrepreneurs, and everyone's an entrepreneur, to start a chapati stand or a banana stand or sell DVDs or whatever it is. And there's been this huge movement in microfinance. So microfinance is basically you get a really small loan, you start a business, and you pay that back. That's been really good. I don't want to take away from that. But we all could say, and we would all, I think everyone would be okay saying, not everyone in America is an entrepreneur. Is that fair?
Completely.
Okay.
Amen.
We believe, and we already are proving this in Uganda, that what Uganda needs and what our role will be in East Africa is to build companies that can employ 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 women.
Amen.
We are going to be the largest employer of women in East Africa. That is
Yes.
That might take place only in Uganda. That might take place in other countries. But we are not playing small when we think about employment. And we also are very committed. We want to create, think about this, preemptive.
It's triangulating stuff.
This plays into it. We want to create places that, and Brent already hit on this. Guys, we've had one person quit in 7 years. That's insane. That is literally insane. But we want to keep pushing ourselves. Our responsibility to you is to ask, how much impact can we create? With this company that we have, our responsibility is, where can we go with impact? So, help us start a daycare. Jaja is what we call Liz's mom. She's the weird one. That's grandma in Uganda. But we want to build a daycare. That's such an easy win. We have had, I don't even know the number. We've had so many babies. Our family in Uganda has grown so much over the last 8 years.
And in the same way, we look at you guys and say, we refuse to buy into the notion that you guys have to choose between being working women and making a huge career and impact in your community and being really present mothers. We want the same things for our moms in Uganda.
Yes.
We want them to be able to come to work and to work hard and to express their full selves and their creativity and their work ethic, and also to have their babies close. And this is a really tangible way, and just one example of how we're saying, we want our sisters in East Africa to benefit from any success that we have, and we want you guys to be a part of that process.
We want a seat at the table. So what many of you guys took part in, which was amazing. Like I went to so when we sent out the email about the trade policy that was happening in the U.S., like I just went to the website like a couple days ago, and when I submitted like our company comment, there was seven comments. We were number 8, and when I went back on, there was like 190.
100% of that was from you guys. It was the night before the deadline, and there were 9 comments.
Yes.
7 or 9 comments, and then there were over 100 comments. Like, y'all, those kind of things do not, we don't know yet, but it is very possible that you guys changed an international policy to benefit our sisters and brothers in East Africa. Imagine what that would have been like if we had double, triple, quadruple the amount of force behind our efforts.
We're not afraid to have influence. Like we're not afraid to be successful. Like that is a big thing for us. Like literally, like Brent was saying, like literally the president of Uganda, who by the way, like is like one of the longest standing dictators on the continent, came to our freaking workshop to see the shoes that you guys sell. Like that's insane. Like it's amazing.
Yes.
But it also says like we're already on someone's radar. And as we build, like, to have a voice, like, you have to have a freaking voice. And we need a voice.
Yes.
We need a big voice. And that is something, like, again, like, for us, like, that's about impact. And that's about, like, being thoughtful about, we don't want Africa to be the next low-cost wage center for the world. Like, we want to build, like, man, what would it look like for people to think, like, oh, Uganda, like, oh, that's kind of like those Italian shoes I had. Like, we really think, like, high craftsmanship, great quality, like, those things can be...
Yeah. You want to touch on this quickly?
Sorry, I'm like, time. Okay, time. We're gonna keep going. Okay, the next thing. This is a quick thing on impact, but it's really important. Like, man, we want to give you. Like, we know that it's so important for us to be thoughtful about what is the longer term impact for us.
Yes.
Right? So we know that Sseko is really good at helping young women get into college, and we're being pretty freaking successful at that, and we're being pretty darn successful about making sure they stay in school. We've now had 3 or 4 classes that have graduated. Brent did a great job of giving you guys some of the updates on what some of these young women are doing. But one, I can't stress how hard it is to. Uganda is a relatively disconnected place at this point in history, but man, we want to do a better job of building out tracking and profiles for you to make sure, like, man, if you have 10 soul sisters over the next 10 years, like, we want you guys to know, like, what are they up to? How do I be a part of their story? I want to know, like, how is this impacting? And man, like, I want to know what Kevin's up to. Like, what the heck is she doing? Because I had such big hopes for her. And frankly, like, we believe very deeply that, like, we are enablers, but we don't make things happen. Like, these young women, like, they're dreaming really big, and we're hoping that they go on to great things. Some of them will, and some of them won't. Like, we don't know, but we want to change the environment that allows them to at least have the choice.
And for the ones that don't, which you have to understand that these young women, no matter how bright and equipped and amazing their experience was in Uganda, they're entering into an economy and a culture where a lot of the cards are stacked against them. But we as a company, the better that we can do and the more resources we can invest into tracking that, maybe 2, 3, 4, 10 years from now, there's a whole new area of influence and impact for us that we're seeing of like, man, there's a really interesting drop-off that starts to happen 5 years after college graduation. What does it look like for us as a company to now create a program or outreach or some sort of curriculum or an alumni program that can really help bridge that gap? We're not stopping.
Awesome.
Okay, stand up. Stand up. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
We will be the largest and most influential employer of women in East Africa. We will have a seat at the table and rewrite the rules for our sisters in East Africa and beyond.
Okay.
Yay!
All right, you guys. Lastly, we are dreaming a lot of our impact here because here's the thing. We care very, 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 very deeply about this mama and her baby. But we care very, very, very deeply about this mama and her baby. And you guys, I cannot reiterate to you guys enough how exciting it is for us to think about how we can push the bounds of this community right here at home. Y'all, I want to see our sisters' daughters in East Africa go to college and pursue their dreams. I want to see your daughters dream big and go to college and pursue their dreams. Y'all, we are dreaming about, like, what would it look like to launch a scholarship program for Sseko daughters here in the U.S.? What would it be like if we incentivized our Uganda team, based off of their production numbers, that they can earn badges for their fellows back at home and help enable their daughters to pursue their dreams and become leaders in their community? You guys, this is the stuff that gets us so excited about thinking about creating a mutually beneficial global sisterhood of women that are for each other, that are working their butts off on behalf of one another and making a real impact. Y'all, we want to build transparent, authentic, meaningful, lifelong relationships. We do not want to build a company where we go on a trip and we take selfies with people that we don't even really know their name and we probably won't have any other interactions. Like, we dream about going back to the same places year after year, and we dream about families creating friendships. We are also dreaming about getting your soul sisters to the U.S. experiences here. So think about a summit in years to come where we have got a handful of our veteran women and of CLA women. Imagine having a trunk show in your community that you get to do alongside with one of your soul sisters. These are the things that we are dreaming about, and these are the ways that we want to use our resources. We love and I cannot tell you how much joy in life it has brought us to see you guys connect with one another. Some of the most meaningful moments of my career have happened in the last year of seeing true and transformational friendships that have emerged from this community of women coming together and finding their tribe of other people that care about the same things and that want to work alongside one another, that want to go to bachelorette parties together, and that want to travel together, and that call each other when things are hard, and that are the first ones to cheer each other on when things go really well. Y'all, we want to continue to invest in things like this summit, in regional gatherings all across the country to make sure that we are cultivating authentic and transformational lifelong relationships in this community. Okay,
There's Catherine.
Of a Sseko underground mafia situation.
Yep.
Okay, seriously, 10 years from now, when there are literally tens of thousands of Sseko Fellows, and you're like, okay, here's the thing. My daughter needs this internship to get into this program at MIT. And you, like, send out the bat signal, okay? So you're like Sseko Mafia, and literally, across 100,000 women in the U.S., it's like, who do we know? How do we get this girl this internship? How do we get her to the next step in pursuing her dreams? You guys, I want to create a literal mafia of wonder women who are coming together and doing everything that it takes to see one another succeed and pursue their dreams for themselves and for their families. Stand up! All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We will build a bold and global sisterhood of tens of thousands of women here at home that is authentic, committed, and transformational. Together we will bridge the gap between how things are and how things can be.
All right, and lastly, you guys, we just want to stand in front of you in honor of the first time that we've ever stood in front of so many Sseko Fellows and tell you this is our promise as founders to you. We promise radical generosity.
Can we say this together?
Yes!
Oh, man! Don't leave me out!
All right, yo, we promise radical generosity for our people, both in East Africa and here at home. Y'all, you guys are going to lead us to unimaginable heights, and we want you to know that as your leaders, we are 100% committed to making sure that is done with a spirit of generosity. And this is we sink or swim together, you guys. This is a rising tide, and if we succeed, you guys succeed, and if you guys succeed, our sisters in East Africa succeed, and that is our promise to you guys. So, thanks for being our pioneers. We love you.